Hello, this is Ron with Revive Carpet Services, and we are presenting for you Carpet Mishap Moments. What we have today to demo is turkey gravy with a little bit of grease added to it. Like a piece of meat falls on the floor and your dog comes by and steps on it or licks it, and so this is what you end up with. Now what we have here is turkey gravy grease on a carpet that's been there for just about a week. Now I've let it dry that way on purpose because what we're demonstrating is what to do or not to do. And in this case, this is what not to do. Do not let it dry. Don't let it sit there for a week before you give some attention to it. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and try and see how well we can get this dried up gravy grease mix out of here. And of course you don't have a vacuum, or most people don't have a wet vacuum to deal with. So first off, you want to break it up as much as possible. And in this case, I'll go ahead and I'll hook up my dry vacuum and vacuum as much dry as possible. As you see on the board here, the three most important things on cleaning is vacuum, vacuum, and vacuum. So first off, we will vacuum this as well as possible. Now you will notice here some of it came off, but really not that much because it's being held onto there with the grease and the gravy mix. So what I'll do now is I'll apply a cleaning solution made of 1/4 ounce dishwashing detergent with 1 quart of water. Now it's important not to use more than 1/4 teaspoon. Now that's a 1/4 teaspoon. You can see how small that is. More in this case is not better. You want to only use 1/4 teaspoon per quart of water, and that's what I have mixed here. So we'll go ahead and moisten this with the cleaning solution on both the nylon carpet and the wool carpet. Now wool, of course, is much more absorbent, so it absorbs moisture much more readily. Now what you want to be sure to avoid doing is a lot of scrubbing and round motion. You don't want to go scrubbing back and forth. It's best to go in one direction at a time. So go one direction and then maybe another direction. And the idea there is to break the grease and gravy up so that it is able to be removed. And then once you've moistened that, take a paper towel, put the paper towel on top of it, and then step on the towel and just kind of do that kind of wiggle motion, and that'll absorb the residues that are loosened up with the dishwashing detergent, and it'll bring them back up into the towel. So you may have to do this several times, but the important thing, particularly with wool, is not to do a lot of scrubbing. As you can see there, most of that's come up. Done quite well. Actually, it's a little better than what I thought it was going to be. So now let's go ahead and try with the nylon frisee carpet. We'll go ahead and moisten that with the dishwashing detergent. Now these are home remedies, things that you have in your home. You don't have to run out and buy anything. You want to give a little bit of agitation there. You can be a little more aggressive with synthetic fibers than you can with wool, but you still don't want to fray and distort the fiber, because once it's frayed and distorted, that is more of a permanent type issue and can't be remedied. So here we'll moisten that. I'll moisten that just a little bit more. It's getting quite loose. And then we once again take a paper towel, put the paper towel on there, and kind of give it that wiggle motion with your feet standing on it to kind of work that gravy and that grease up into the paper towel. And as you can see, most of that's gone also. That's great. Okay, that's way not to do it. I mean, you don't want to let it dry. However, if it does dry, you can see it and still be quite effective. The best way to do it is if you have something, gravy, grease mix, I'll just go ahead and get that on there. See, that's getting in there pretty bad. Now, of course, this being still damp, you don't really have to use a dry vacuum because it wouldn't come up very well anyways. So what you want to do is take the dull end of a spoon and kind of work as much of the loose material up as possible and bring that up, put that into a paper towel and get that up. So you don't want to do a lot of scrubbing. You don't want to fray the fiber. Be very careful and get that up into the towel. I'll do both of these at one time with both the nylon carpet and then also the wool. So you remove as much excess as possible, trying to work towards the center spot from the outside in. So you can see I got quite a bit of the stuff up there. And then once again, you take the hand dishwashing liquid, 1/4 ounce per quart of water. Moisten the area with the detergent solution, put the towel down, and work it up into the towel. Now, being, once again, very careful with the wool fiber, because once the fiber is distorted, it's permanent. It doesn't change. And work that up. You can see I'm still getting a considerable amount there. So we'll continue to work more. Okay, I think the wool, there's still a little coming up, so I'd probably go over that 3 or 4 more times before I'd quit. Let's go ahead and move on over to the nylon fiber though. Work that in just a little bit. You can work it in again with a dull end of a knife or a spoon, working it in towards the center, and then put the towel down and step on the towel. And what that does, of course, it brings it up into the towel. You can actually see kind of a greasy spot there, which is good. You know you're bringing it up and doing the job. So I'll spray just a little more here on both of them. And then we'll towel once again. Now the final step is after you've gotten to a point where there's no more residual coming up into the towel, then you will lay a towel, another clean towel on top, and put a heavy weighted object on top of the towel. Now what that'll do is absorb any remaining spot up into the towel rather than on the top of the fiber. So once you get up as much as possible, then you'll lay a towel over top and then put, in this case I have a weighted encyclopedia. You put the towel down and put the encyclopedia on top of the towel. Now they recommend oftentimes a brick, but not everybody wants to bring a brick in their home, but everybody seems to have books of some sort. But be sure and wrap them in plastic so they don't do any damage to your book. So you do that in both cases. Put this here, and then put a book on top of the towel. And in a couple days, that spot will wake up and it'll be in the towel and no longer in the carpet. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to having another Carpet Mishap Moments.